denies, limits, eliminates, or whatever the statement actually is. In other words, says, that's not true. And because of your filtering system, your fear keeps you constantly focused on the circumstantial issues of your situation more than on what is actually being said or, even what's happening at all. So the fear itself, the filtering, not only could be tuning out the truth, but also causing you to make certain kinds of decisions. And they may not even be something you're making consciously. So in other words, you could be making the decision unconsciously based on your filter or your fear. So we've always said on other programs I've mentioned, you're co-creating your life. And, you know that you're doing this through your thoughts, through your mind, and through your thinking. And the good old Henry Ford statement, if you think you can or you think you can't, you're probably right. You probably remember me saying that, and you've heard it before. But by filtering your information, your fear can keep reinforcing what you want to hear or see or know so that you can actually be right. And in that way, maybe just be safe. So you want to say to yourself, what about my thoughts are trying to keep me safe, not let me take a risk, for example. Another example, if you can't bear to be thought of as selfish, and some people cannot bear the thought that they would be selfish, that would not be acceptable, then you may end up giving your energy away, or just your anything for that matter, your things, but also your energy. Or you could settle for situations in which you feel that you get less than you're actually worth. And if that is the case, again, it's about needing others' approval, for example. Our fears can also cause us to feel really divided inside. So let's say we really want to believe in something different. We want to believe in something better. And in that way, it's as though our soul would want that for us. And we're going to get to the role of faith shortly, but just for the moment, so we want that. Our soul wants that. But our fears can really fracture us in our relationship to the world. So just a few more questions to be thinking about. Have you felt you're not happy a lot of the time? Are you not happy a lot of the time? Or do you feel you're not living the life you want to be living? That's important too. You're not living the life you want to be living. Or maybe you have too much to do and you do it, but you don't really enjoy it at all. So these are typical feelings when you live a more fear-based life, because a fear-based life is often a life that's designed around worry and not meeting your fears. So you'll do things you don't want to be doing. You'll do things that that aren't even valuable to you as a way of not meeting your fears. So another important question to ask would be, how do others affect your sense of your world? That, again, would be really important. How do others affect your sense of your world? So there's a term that's commonly used for people who influence your state of your fear, and the term is fear projector. Isn't that interesting? So the term is fear projector. Now, it's used to describe people who want you to choose safety over taking a risk. And what's confusing is that when people are your fear projectors and they're trying to get you to choose safety over risk, they seem to be aligning themselves with your best interest. But, probably more likely they're unconsciously projecting their own fears onto you. And again, I call them fear projectors for this reason. And let me give you an example of that. So let's say you've decided that you need to end a relationship because it's not working or it's constantly painful. You and your partner may both agree to that, for that matter. And you've given a great deal of thought to it. You've weighed it out, and you've decided, this is what you need to do. But your friend, and this is the one I'm going to call the fear projector, would say to you, are you crazy? What are you going to do to take care of yourself? You can't survive on your own. And it's better to stay with somebody that's at least, decent, and you'd have some security in your old age and all of that, okay? So you see, what's happened is that you've gone outside of your friend's comfort zone. Not even your comfort zone necessarily, but the friend's comfort zone, the fear projector. So I always tell clients, if another person's fear continues to keep you bound, you would want to recognize that and protect yourself from that person's influence. So your job is not to stay in someone else's comfort zone. And that person, isn't living your life, and of course you're not living theirs. So a major key here, and something I've said so many times in my workshops, is that, and this is something I think people need to remember, People will generally not allow in you what they will not allow in themselves. Okay, so people will not allow in you what they will not allow in themselves. So if you're taking someone out of their comfort zone, then they may respond by filling you with what are really their own fears. And it'll appear, again, like it's in your best interest to, they're concerned about you, but really they may be concerned because they're feeling like they're getting out of their comfort zone. So, having said that, the types of questions they typically ask would be like, are you sure you want to do that? What makes you think that's going to work? Why do you want to rock the boat? But the worst part of all of this is that a fear projector has the ability to rob you of your faith, and if you're not careful, even to rob you of your own dreams. So this is why we've got to balance faith and fear and look at our role of faith in our lives. And, even look at the idea that there are things called mind traps. And, remember you're co-creating your world through your mind. So we want to look at some of the traps that you could fall into regarding the influences of fears. So it's time now to take a break. And we're going to go ahead and do that. And when we come back, we'll talk more. But I am Dr. Cynthia Bischoff, your host for Heart Living with Dr. Cynthia Bischoff. Dreamvisions 7 Radio Network is the media partner for Omega Institute. For more information, go to dreamvision7radio.com, and we'll be back shortly for further tips on balancing faith and fear. Thank you.
Are you ready to live a more meaningful and passionate life? Through the principles of Heart Living with Dr. Cynthia Bischoff, international life coach and energy medicine practitioner, you'll delve into new theories, discover life wisdom, and achieve greater balance. Become inspired. Connect with Dr. Cynthia Bischoff through her Dreamvisions 7 radio show, Heart Living with Dr. Cynthia Bischoff. Visit Cynthia's website at heartliving.com and like her Facebook page at facebook.com/heartliving for inspiration and guidance. Cynthia has helped thousands transform their lives. Let her lead you on a remarkable journey of the heart.
Ever wonder what it's like to have your own radio show? Well, wonder no longer, because you can dip into the radio airwaves by being host for the day on syndicated Dreamvision 7 Radio Network. It's a fabulous way to get your radio feet wet. It's an opportunity to market your business, modality, or book. Have a guest, mention a sponsor, and take callers. Or you may want to facilitate a lesson by going solo. It's up to you. Listeners can be online, mobile, in cars with Bluetooth, or listen through Amazon's Echo by asking, Alexa, play Dreamvision 7 Radio Network. For more details, go to dreamvision7radio.com and click on Host for the Day.
Join us every Wednesday at 2 p.m. and 2 a.m. Eastern on the Dreamvision 7 Radio Network for Heart Living with Dr. Cynthia Bischoff, where you'll discover life wisdom and achieve greater spiritual awareness. Through Cynthia's coaching tips, healing stories, and inspirational interviews, you will improve your relationships, find greater balance, and achieve inner peace today. Join thousands who've transformed their lives through Heart Living.
Are you currently working as a medium or would like to work as a medium? Join world-renowned spirit medium Lisa Williams this May for Platform Mediumship, a 5-day workshop at Omega Institute. You'll learn to host your own psychic demonstrations, strengthen your connection to spirit, and gain the confidence you need to deliver messages to groups and larger audiences. For 20% off, mention discount code DREAM when you register for Platform Mediumship at Omega in Rhinebeck, New York. Learn more at
Are you ready for the quantum age?
Humanity's next step in evolution?
Dreamvision 7 Radio Network invites you to the extraordinary platform of evolutionary voices for the quantum age.
Let's explore. Learn more about this upcoming age where we bridge science with spirituality.
Where potentiality meets reality.
Where we take compassion into action.
Our trailblazers and visionaries will ask the whys, the what-ifs, while igniting continuous possibility.
Come along with us into an age beyond what we know today, where we can grow together in unity consciousness.
Experience evolutionary voices for the quantum age, Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern on Dreamvision7radio.com.
This is Dreamvision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.
Welcome back. You're listening to Dreamvisions 7 Radio. I'm Dr. Cynthia Bischoff of the Heart Living with Dr. Cynthia Bischoff show. Dreamvisions 7 Radio Network is the media partner for Omega Institute. Our topic is practicing faith over fear. Now, we talked before the break about the idea of falling into mind traps and how, that would influence our fears. The most negative are those that affect your feelings of worthiness. And I think that's really important, that we pay attention to whether or not we even feel worthy. Because some people go through life constantly trying to demonstrate that they're better than, or at least not worse than, other people. And a mental trap, and that's what I call that, like that, it's so very self-defeating, and it'll keep you stuck or just bound in a fearful state. So you would want to ask yourself, are you, burdened or possessed by a fear of self-doubt? Am I really good enough? Can I make it? Or are you stuck because of a fear of change? And a change fear could be something like, I don't want anything to change because that may make me feel unsafe. And anyway, I'm too old, tired, stupid, whatever it is, to change anything. Because people have actually said those things to me in coaching. I can't do that. I'm too old for that. But you see, part of overcoming your fear is about identifying and escaping these kinds of mental traps. So then how do you work through your fears? Now, in my work, I've designed a formula that I call the and then what, just like it sounds, 3 words, and then what formula. And I'll tell you how I use it. And you can certainly work with your own, situation. Because I have clients, and when I do, I say to the clients, please choose one area of your life and one fear that you want to move through. And then I tell them to allow me, with my simple little formula, to take them through the worst possible scenario that is involved in that situation. And I do this again through the and then what formula. So when you try it on your own, you would need a friend to help you get through it. And it's really pretty easy, but here's kind of what it looks like. So let's say you're fearful about leaving a job. Now, you need to leave the job that you're in currently because you feel you're not using your best potential. Let's just say that's the case. Or maybe you're also underpaid for your credentials. You don't enjoy the work any longer. You think you can find a job that you're better suited for. Let's just use that example. So what I would do if I were working with you is I would tell you, well, let's move forward to the decision to leave the job, and let's take it and play it out with the and then what's. So first I would ask you to fast forward to the idea that you have now quit your job. Now, once you could imagine that, I would simply ask you, and then what? And remember, I've got that 3-word formula. So the person would often say something like, okay, I quit my job, and I'm really scared that I cannot survive financially. And all I would do is repeat, okay, you quit your job, you're scared, you can't survive, that you cannot survive financially, and then what? Then the person might say, well, next I'd start looking for a job. And then I'd say, okay, you start looking for a job, and then what? So basically what you're doing is you're mirroring the person's statements back and adding and then what, so that the person can continue and so that you can help the person, if you're the helper, to continue to carry them through their fear. You see, what perpetuates your fear is actually staying stuck on a part of it. It's kind of like you're closing your eyes at the scariest part of the movie, and what you're left with is the scariest part of the movie. So you see, the and then what formula gets you past the scary scene and helps you to move through the fear itself. And, of course, fear is the energy of standing still. That's actually what it's called. It's called stand still. So how do you get through your fears? You've got to keep moving through them. And when you're really intimate with your fear and you actually move through it, you embrace it, the power of your fear diminishes. Now, when it comes to, again, the and then what formula, I actually worked with a